Let me start this video off by saying I really enjoy Arthur Grumman's content. I think he's a good look on the new emerging right wing. I will put a link in the description below to his channel. Go subscribe. That being said, this video will be broken up into 6 parts, each part responding to each main point of his video, how big should countries be, as well as adding a few of my own points. Arthur Grumman's video, How Big Should Countries Be, discusses a movement to make a single global empire under America, with the whole world being states of the US, like India or Russia being its own state, like how Florida and Georgia are their own state, but every state would have enormous autonomy, so it'd be like one global empire that isn't American but created by America. He goes on to talk about how it's not a good idea and each country should be sovereign, and I agree with that for the most part. He goes on to mention how it's good that America and Ireland won their independence, talking about how the Irish couldn't be represented in the British Empire, or the American people couldn't be represented in the British Empire, because the British Empire was imposing its own British agenda on them, attempting to remove their cultures and replace it with one singular British one. He uses the argument that every single country has its own unique culture, and every country's culture is equal. First off, no. America was British. The Anglosphere is filled with Anglo-Saxon nation-states. We worship the same God. We speak the same language. We're tied together in history. We have the same culture. We all look the same, right? We literally look the same. I mean, we have a funny little accent, or a nice, funny little Southern accent, or a Yankee accent. But I mean, we're all the same. We're all the same. It's just accents. We all speak the same thing. I mean, this isn't British. It's Anglo. Americans and British are tied together because of our Anglo bond. We're brothers. The term "blood is thicker than water" literally comes from the Taiping Rebellion, where the Americans were sent to observe the British naval battle, and strict orders were given not to interfere. But they were like, okay, they're losing, they're our brothers, we gotta save them, blood is thicker than water, we're disobeying the orders, and then we joined the war, and then we saved them. The only reason why America broke away from the British Empire was because of no representation in British Parliament. Not culture, not people, but law. The British incentivized growth in the colonies by making it one of the only areas to not be taxed. But by the end of the 7 Years' War, Britain needed money to pay off debts and to fund the Navy, so it asked its people, its subjects, to pay a tiny tax, right? Given to Caesar what is Caesar. So if you're not being told to give anything to Caesar, and then eventually you're like, okay, you gotta help carry weight now, you're costing us too much money, that's reasonable, that's perfectly reasonable. I mean, a country can't run without tax. A country cannot run without tax, right? That's just silly. I mean, what are you, an anarcho-capitalist? This is just the stupidest thing ever. America should not have gained its independence. Ireland, maybe, that's debatable. I don't really care. But America should not have. I mean, I don't agree with a parliament. I don't agree with the no representation. I do think we should have had representation in the government. But, again, it was their right to do that, right? I think it should have been, okay, we're going to tax you, but we'll give you like a little bit of influence in the parliament because, you know, you're our people, and since we're finally asking you to carry some of the load, we'll give you a place in the government. I agree with that, but still, we should not have rebelled. Like I said previously, I don't really care about the Irish being integrated. I mean, like, regarding the Irish question, so what if the British tried to move their culture and history? I don't really care. Well, yes, they maybe had some questionable methods, like he mentioned in his video. The British killed, like, the Irish wolves who were native there and made them go extinct so that they could fully integrate them. And yeah, maybe they should have killed the wolf. They should not have killed the wolves, but I mean, and I don't really care. I mean, the British society was like so vastly superior to the Irish society. The British were like, okay, we gotta unite the Isles. These guys are in skirts and they drink all the time, and they live in huts, and they don't even have proper roads, they barely have industry, we're gonna save them from themselves. That's honorable. That's good. I don't see the problem with that. Right? Like, if the Eastern Roman Empire were to be revived by Greece, right, and became the global hegemon of the world, and they conquered America, and they were like, okay, we're gonna Romanize America. 100%. Yep, I'm Roman now, guys. Like, I'm completely okay with that. Right? Hail the Emperor, bro. Ave. Ave Imperator. Right? I mean, if a society is inherently better than yours, like, and they're trying to help you, they're bringing you medicine, they're bringing you industry, electricity, like Britain did with India, then 100% I am bending the knee because they're just better than me, and my people are savages compared to them, unless they are not Christian. If they're not Christian, then they're automatically barbaric, automatically disqualified, right? But if they are Christian, then yeah, I'm being integrated. But if they are not Christian, then that is completely disregarded. Because, like, Christianity is the only real religion, and I don't care what you say. Anyways, the Aztecs are another example why cultures are not equal. I mean, they may be unique, but they're not equal. I mean, they were left alone with everything it needed to become a powerful modern nation state. It was isolated from Europe, from the constant warfare and wars. It was the regional hegemon. It was very large territorially. However, barely 10 years after the Spaniards arrived, they instantly collapsed. And that's not just because of mud disease. Mud disease! They had glowing cities! Oh! No, they were pagan. They had pagan temples that they used for child sacrifice. They would literally rip the hearts out of people and give it to the sun out of worship. That's satanic. That's demonic. That is not cultured. That is not something worth keeping around because it's unique and equal. That is not equal, and I don't care if it's unique. It needs to be destroyed because it's satanic. Okay? I mean, they barely walked around with any clothes. They were completely barbaric. They had no great advancements. What? They built like a cool pyramid? So did the Egyptians. Right? So did the Egyptians. Right? You would think a country that everything needed to be a powerful nation state wouldn't be known for being smoked by the conquistadors. But, like, 1,000 years of just being the most powerful nation state, nope, I'm not going to become a civilized state and find gunpowder. Instead, I'm going to kill children, because I'm a barbarian. Yeah, sorry, child sacrifice will stop. And you mentioned that, he mentioned that in his video, which I feel like is a contradiction, because if you're saying that while that was good, all cultures are equal, that's just a contradiction. So it's like, oh yeah, all cultures are equal, but what the Aztecs did was bad, and conquistadors did were good. Okay, the Aztecs did that because that was part of their culture, that was part of their people, that was part of their stereotype, that was part... Stereotypes are made as a result of one's culture, right? That's like a kind of like a window into somebody's culture, like you see a stereotype in your country of a people, that's like the window into their culture, right? So that's just a complete contradiction. Stereotypes are made as a result of patterns found in one's culture. It's tribal, humanity's tribal, whether it's good or bad. There's nothing you can do about it until Christ returns, right? We're human. That's just the way it is. Since culture is, it's a reflection of how people act, if all cultures are equal, how come the Aztecs were not advanced, civilized, and clean as the Spaniards? It's because all cultures aren't equal, and that's just the way it is. He continues with the take that a politician in New York won't know more about your own local hometown. I agree with that. That's why you need a hierarchical monarchy with micro-provinces and not huge states in the US the size of a country, like Texas is bigger than Germany. That's crazy. You know how big a province is in Germany compared to a state in the US? It's like comparing a county to a state. That's insane. You can't have 50 different subcultures which are very, very different that all hate each other, even though they all come from the same history, the same background, the same ancestors, and the same country. That's the balkanization of your people. That's how you get sifted by foreign nations. That's not good in any way. In a hierarchical, centralized, and homogenous state, there's one culture, one language, and one people. So someone from New York in this situation would have almost the same amount of affection for your hometown as you do. The only difference is in the hierarchical system, someone from your hometown would be elected by the king or emperor to rule over it. And this bloodline, which history has tied its bloodline to this town, is always there. They've always been there. And the king has elected them to rule. And they'll always rule there unless the monarch deems otherwise. So the people that help build the town rule it forever. Unless the king's like, okay, you're subverting the people, you're confusing them, we're not against them, we're removing you and putting someone else over it, or you're not upholding the proper rules, or you're not doing something the way you're supposed to, or you're only hurting them, you're not a good leader, right? Literally, the people who grew up there, who would know best, would not be elected, right? So someone from New York wouldn't come down, get a Floridian citizenship, and then try to become the governor of Florida, which I think it's kind of stupid. You have to register that you moved from Florida to New York and saying, okay, now I need a New York residency card. It's just silly. That's just silly. If you're born in America, it doesn't matter what state you're from. It matters that you were born in the nation state of America, so you can live in any state. It's silly. This is, Mr. Z kind of put it the best. This is a union of nation states. It's kind of like the Holy Roman Empire, which was an absolute mess, and we shouldn't do that. This idea that each single province should have full autonomy within the major nation state is extremely problematic. This kind of goes back to my original point in local governance, that will be completely balkanized. This is for the same reason an American New York and American Tampa hate each other. It promotes subcultures and many outside cultures. This creates a process of cultural balkanization, which then leads to real, literal national balkanization, which removes your ties to your history, your people, and your country, as it all falls apart. This is why we need to promote homogeneity of one people, culture, and country, with little autonomy to the provinces, so that you maintain one culture and keep one country. There shouldn't be 500 billion quadrillion Anglo states, right? We shouldn't be like the Holy Roman Empire, where there are 5 billion warring micro-Germanic states trying to unify Germany into one national, homogeneous, centralized state. We should already have one single centralized nation state. In the modern age, it's kind of hard to do, because this isn't the 17th century or the 3rd century, where it's ruled by strong men. Today, in the modern age, it's ruled by men behind the scenes, right? It's ruled by realpolitik and pragmatism, which, in my opinion, it is what it is. That's just how the game works now, but the game's kind of retarded. But that is what it is what it is. It is what it is. We have to play the games so that we can change it. So we can... The game's been updated. We gotta change the game. We gotta fix it. We gotta fix it, folks. We gotta remove the update. We don't like what the devs did. We don't like it at all. He also argues that we should have a billion Liechtensteins, basically arguing for the full balkanization of every nation-state of the world, because the state can never fully represent the town or city. This is just silly. This is just immature. This makes zero sense. He's basically saying there should be 1,000 Germanys where we all speak the same language, we all have similar governments, the same culture, the same history, the same blood, the same ancestors, the same religion, but we're separated by lines. this would lead to another age of warfare, not the kind of cool-based warfare, Napoleon, Frederick the Great. No. This would be bloody. This would be gruesome. This would be very disgusting. There'd be a lot of behind the scenes. There'd be a lot of nasty things going on. This would all be for reunification of those German states. In this hypothetical, it would be horrible, whether it succeeds or not. Many of those Balkanized states would succeed to do this either through war or diplomacy. This is honestly the worst take I've ever heard from him. Maybe my entire life. I really hope I'm misinterpreting this. My other 2 points from local governance and federalism already argue against this. Balkanization isn't good, and full autonomy over certain regions, like also previously mentioned, as that was one of his points, is not good because it promotes subcultures, which then, like he wants a billion Liechtensteins, becomes Balkanization. That is not good. Not good. Bad. Big bad. Monkey not smart. It bad. One monkey, not two different monkey. This is just silly. I really like him, but I don't know why he thinks this. This is just the worst take possible. Hopefully, if he does watch this video, hopefully he doesn't take it to offense, and either A, he changes his view, or B, recognize that at least this segment of his view is just really not good. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. So there are many arguments to be made for imperialism, like the growth of your people, the growth of your wealth, your state, your territory, the spread of your culture, the wealth given to the annexed lands, the infrastructure given to the annexed lands. There's so many arguments, so I can't cover this all in one video. Maybe if you guys want me to, I could. That would take a very long time. One argument for imperialism is the spread of Christianity. Without the age of colonialism, South America would not be Christian today. Africa would not have any Christian presence. South Korea wouldn't be Christian. There wouldn't be as much Christianity in the world as there is today. Colonization really pushed that. Another argument is that it benefits both the mother nation and the subjugated nation. This is because the mother state will provide modern needs to the colony, bringing medicine, industry, electricity, schooling, law, and protection to the colony. In exchange, the colony swears loyalty to the mother state, providing resources and luxuries and much more. In a sense, it can kind of be viewed as a partnership or like a contract with one slight change. It's not necessarily a contract because it's subjugated. It's kind of forced, but the subjugated state is forced to do this, but it's for its own good. And the subjugated state will also slowly become more and more integrated to a point where it's fully integrated, it's fully Romanized or fully Russified or fully Germanized. Whatever mother state is occupying it, it will eventually turn into it, right? It will eventually be identical in every way. In my opinion, in the best world possible, the Roman Empire never fell. The entire world is Roman. We're speaking Latin and Greek. The entire world is Latin and Greek. And we're all Eastern Orthodox. That is my preferable, perfect timeline. That being said, I just want to state again, I really enjoy his videos. He makes very high quality and intellectual videos. A handful of his takes are very problematic, like the balkanization take. That is extremely problematic, and like I said before, I really hope I'm wrong in believing that he agrees with that. If you enjoyed this video though, please like and subscribe. I hope you have a great day, and tell me in the comments any critiques with my points or any suggestions for any other videos. God bless, and remember, there's nothing impossible to him who tries.